Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Thursday, June 3rd, 2021, and we are again in the final hour of the trading day. The final hour of the trading day is my preferred time, my favorite time to make the majority of my buying and selling decisions for my swing trades. I say this because during the day, the algorithms and the day traders are in control of the price. At the end of the day, that last hour, in particular in the last few minutes, the large financial institutions come in, they take control of the price away from the day traders and the algorithms, and I consider it the most valid price of the day to make your buying and selling decisions. So thank you all for coming today. It's always nice to see everyone. I hope you're having a nice day. Interesting day in the markets. Currently, the Dow is down 18 points, down 0.05%, so pretty close to break even. NASDAQ, however, big sell-off today in the NASDAQ, down 125 points, down just under 1%, and the S&P is down 13.74, down 0.32%. So again, thanks for coming. Nice to have you here. Always nice to have you. And I appreciate you spending your time here, and I hope by doing so you're learning some good trading and investing principles. So here's the plan for today. First of all, we are going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Secondly, we're going to come back, take a look at my current positions, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, and how I'm going to manage them going forward. I did have a day trade today on VIX that I will share with you. After that, we'll go over to the board. We'll take a look at your current positions, my students' current positions, and we'll see how those are doing. After that, we'll switch gears. We'll talk a little bit about trader psychology. Most important skill you can ever learn in trading, everybody, is being able to be in control of your emotions and not make decisions based upon amplified emotions, but based upon your original trading plan. So we'll touch on that. After that, I've gone down through my watch list. I've gone down through the results of Kamal Scanner. Quickly, I have 3 requirements before I look to enter any new trade. First, I need a confluence or a combination of indicators lining up, ideally on multiple time frames. Number 2, need to have a good risk to reward ratio, at least 2-to-1. So if I'm risking $1,000 on a trade, I need to be able to make $2,000 or more on that trade to make the asymmetrical math work. Number 3, I need to have a full trading plan. I need to know what I'm doing regardless of what the market's doing. I need to consider current market volatility. From that current market volatility, I need to decide on how many shares I'm going to buy, what my position size is based upon that volatility. I need to have an emergency stop. I need to know what my maximum allowed loss is. I need to have an end-of-day stop. I need to know if I'm taking profits where my intraday profit targets are going to be. I have to know where significant overhead resistance levels are going to be. I have to have a complete trailing stop methodology in place so that if I have a trade that works and goes my way and starts moving back down, that I don't give it all back. So, and then lastly, I might add on there correlation. Please be aware of correlation. You do not want too many correlated stocks. Ideally, in a perfect world, in my perfect Greg trading world, I want as many different types of stocks in different industries as possible. I want to trade as many time frames as possible, and I want to trade as many different trading strategies as possible as well. So I'm covering all bases and looking kind of for that midpoint of all of the different time frames and different types of companies and different strategies, all kind of working for me. So I do have some potential end-of-day candidates. We will take a look at those as we get closer to the close of the market. If I find something that makes sense based upon the 3 criteria and correlation, I will go ahead and purchase it before the close of the day. After the market closes, if anybody has any questions for me, please let me know. I'm happy to answer them. If you need clarification on anything, not sure, don't be shy. Just put it in the chat. I will do my best to get to it and clarify for you. If there's any stock symbols that you would like me to look at, go ahead, put them in the live stream, put an emoji by it if it's time sensitive, and I will do my very best to get to it before the close of the market. And then lastly, if any of my students have any new entries or exits today that they would like me to update on the board, if you could please wait until the close of the market so that market's closed, I'm done teaching, pressure's off, and then we'll spend as much time as we need to get those all updated for you today, okay? So I'm going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer, and I will be back in about 40 seconds. Thank you. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. Oakley dokley, here we go. How's everybody doing today? Looks like David is there. Good to see you, Mr. David. Always nice to see you. Lilia, my friend, how are you? Good to see you. And good job on what we discussed, and proud of you. And please say hello to the doggies for me. Michael is here, which is Lova, aka Lova. Hi, everybody. Good to see you, Michael. Appreciate you being here. Thank you as always for your analysis. Dan gives the peace sign right back at you, buddy. Steve Burns is here. Hello, traders. Hello, Steve. Nice to see you, my friend. Always great to have you here. Always an honor. Always a privilege. I really sincerely mean that every day when I say it, and I'm sure everyone else feels the exact same way. And it's really an honor to have you here hanging out with us. It's really great. Thank you. Frank is here. Hello, Greg and group. Good to see you, Frank. Thank you for everything that you do for this podcast, Frank. Really look forward and enjoy those poems. Johnson is here. Nice to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good day wherever you are. I seem to think, are you in Singapore? Maybe in Singapore? I can't remember. Kamal is here. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Hope everything's going well with your family. And thank you for your friendship, Kamal, and obviously thank you for everything that you do for this channel with the scanner, which is just fantastic. Gary is here. Hello, Greg and group. Gary, I know you've been trading AMC today, so maybe you could tell us about that. I'm sure that's kind of fun and exciting. All right, should we get to it? Let's get to it. So kind of a weird day. Last couple days have been kind of weird. All right, AAPN. All right, here we go. David, Jonathan, and I did buy AAPN back here with an under 30, over 30, bought it at 83.84. Moved up nicely. MACD turned positive, which is a good sign. Had a big up bar, moved back down. I took half here. Then we moved 1.5 ATRs from entry. So the next day we had a close below the previous days. I took another half. So I only had a quarter. Nice up bar yesterday. Took some more profits. Today, it's down 3.5%, but still up nicely on the trade. Entry to close about 7.4%. So this one's been pretty good. I did move 1.5 ATRs for my entry. Whenever that happens with an under 30, over 30, if we move back to break even, I will get out of that last quarter position. But so far, really nice trade, and glad that I took some profits off much higher. LMT has been a good trade, bucking the indexes today. Lilia took a half position. Johan and Jonathan and I liked this setup yesterday. I really did. I liked that we had a return to value. I liked that we had some consolidation. I liked that we had a bullish engulfing bar with the V1. And on top of that, we also had a 520 crossover, which does back test well. So bought it yesterday at 384.99. It's 386.52. So it is up 0.36% today, and up about that much on the trade. You can see my 3 profit targets here, here, and here. Haven't hit any today, but it depends, I guess, how we're going to close into the market, but it'd be nice to hit one. It's always my favorite part of trading, or hitting those profit targets. But I think the big takeaway here is that it's up on a down day. Monster, or not monster, MicroStrategies. Gary, Tracy, and I bought MicroStrategies with a combination of an under 30, over 30, and an intraday rejection of the 200-day moving average. Moved up. Of course, I take profits. Whenever it moves up, I take partial profits. Had a close below the previous day's low, sold half. It's rallied since then, is down 1.5% today. No profit targets, but from entry to current closing price, 7.29%. Roku. Well, Roku, not so hot tamale. Paxton and I bought this with a 520 crossover, which is a valid crossover. Bought it at 347.48. Basically, just at best, move sideways. I think I hit one profit one day. Today, looks like we're going to close below both the 5 and the 20. So my end of day stop on this will be to sell half of my position here. The 5 it's still above the 20, so I'm not selling the entire position, but I would if the 5 also crossed under. But it is crossing the close. Most likely today will close below both the 5 and the 20, in which case I will take half of the position off for a loss. The good news, we're right back in the value zone, so it could bounce from here. But my rules indicate to me and tell me that because the price is closing below both the 5 and the 20, which is the crossover I took, I will sell half today and lock in half losses, which is a strange concept, right? That you're going to lock in half loss, but that's just my trading methodology on the crossovers. SPY, well, we had 9 days of overnight SPY gap ups and profits. 9 days. Today couldn't do it. So anyway, I'm grateful for the 9. I entered yesterday at 420.33. Opened this morning 417.82. So pretty good little clobber overnight on the overnight SPY trade. But that's how it goes. This can be very streaky, both to the downside and to the upside. But just to put a little plug in for the overnight SPY trade, I've traded this for 2.5 years. It's always been positive. It's been a wild ride, no doubt about that. Like I said, it is streaky, but did come off a record of 9 gap ups in a row. So I will be buying this again today at the close, holding it overnight, selling it first thing tomorrow morning. TER. All right. Jonathan, Gary, David, Paxton, and I did buy TER, with a 520 crossover, 127.70. Has moved up nicely ever since then. Scaled out. Yesterday, it had moved, or 2 days ago, it moved more than 1.5 ATRs from entry. Therefore, if I get a close below the previous day's low, I would sell half. Didn't happen here. Looks like it's going to happen here. Back to about break even, but it's not break even because of the profits I took up here. So it looks like it's going to close below the previous day's low, so I will sell half, and it is above the entry, so I will lock in half profits on Teradyne. Twitter. This has been a great trade for Miko, Gary, Tracy, and Paxton. They already sold half, which I did as well. This was a perfect example of a deep dip buy with a good risk to reward ratio. Close under, close back over the 200-day moving average. Good risk to reward ratio. Held the 200, had that nice leg up. Scaled. 2 days ago, I sold half of my position because it closed below the previous day's low. So I locked in half position there. Did hit one profit target at 57.98. It is up 0.65%. So it is bucking the trend. And so far, just entry to current price up 8.56%. All right, I did have 1 day trade today on the VIX earlier in the day. Way back here, we had an intraday rejection of the 200-day moving average. I didn't take this one. Then we had a second bar with a nice rejection of the 200-day moving average on the deep dip buy in the 5-minute. I bought this when it closed. The second time it tested the 200, closed above the 200 at 34.80. Great risk to reward ratio. 10 minutes later, I sold half at 35.05. consolidated, tested the 200, held it, tested the 200, held it. Then I had another big move back up at a higher price over this range. I took another half here, 35.15, and then 20 minutes later it closed below the 200-day, which was my end of day stop, but it was still higher than my entry. So entered at 34.80, sold at 34.86, sold at 35.05, and sold at 35.15. So decent little day trade there on VIX. I've been trading VIX quite a bit lately. Okay, let us go over and take a look at some of my students' trade. And here's Steve Burns, who is not a student of mine, but he is a mentor of mine, and I was a student of his. Steve bought a AMD yesterday with the 1030 EMA cross. He bought it at 81.95. It's currently 80.71. It's down 1.54%, so it is down on the day, and it is down on the trade. Tesla. David bought Tesla, bullish engulfing bar, V1, closed back above the 200-day, bought it at 606. Moved up nicely for about a week. I imagine maybe David took some profits. I'm not 100% sure. Yesterday tested the 200-day moving average, but today it looks like it's losing it. It's down 4.49%. So this trade is now down on the day and down on the trade. IBB. Steve Burns bought IBB at 151.15. It's currently 151.19, so it is up 11 cents today. So it is up on the day and up on the trade, and nice recovery because earlier it was down significantly. SAML. Lilia bought ASML, with the 520 crossover, bought it at 648.80. I know she sold half here with the close below the previous day's low, took some profits there. Down a little bit today, but Lilia is still nicely up on the trade. Boeing. Kamal bought Boeing. Beautiful trade. Almost near the low here at 221.10. Look at this. It's just straight up. It's down a little bit today. It's down 1.45% today, but so far, Kamal is up 12.27% on the trade. Way to go, Kamal. Fastly. All right, Lilia bought Fastly with an under 30, over 30. Bought at 43.70. Moved up beautifully. Never had a close below the previous day's low. It's down 1.91% today, but Lilia is up 8.9% on this trade. So congratulations, Lilia. DKNG, Frank and Gary. Gary bought a half position of DKNG with a 520 crossover at 49.60. It's currently 49.93. It is down 2.04% on the day, but still up on the trade. USFD, oh boy. Lilia bought USFD here at 38.82. Started out beautifully, gave it back yesterday, and then today down 2.88%. And this is now, of course, down on the day and also down on the trade. Fiverr. Let's see. This is Steve, I think. Steve bought Fiverr here at 195 with the 520 crossover. Moved up for about 5 days, but today just gave it back, down 6.12% today. But it looks like Steve is still up on the trade. So down on the day, but still slightly up on the trade, which is the most important part. Bill.com, Paxton bought Bill.com at 149.50. Moved up nicely, but like a lot of things today, gave it back. It's down 5.66%. So it is down on the day, and it is also down on the trade. Qs, Steve bought the Qs with the 520 crossover at 332.78. It's currently 330.16, so it is down 1%. So it's down on the day, and it is down on the trade. Levi, this is Kamal. Kamal bought Levi at 26.81. Moved up nicely the next day, came back down, but it is down 1.82% today. So it looks like this is down on the day and also down on the trade. ELY, this is Frank. Frank bought this all the way back here at 27.75. It's currently 36.52. It is down 1.85% today, but Frank is up on this trade almost 25%. So congratulations to Frank for holding on to that baby. Kamal bought Ping yesterday at 24.35. False breakout to the downside. V2 made sense to me, although it is down today 1.6%. So down on the day, down on the trade. WSM, oy vey. Well, Frank and Lilia luckily bought half positions yesterday. 520 crossover, V1, bought it at 173.40, but yeah, this stock just getting hammered down 6%, down on the day and down on the trade, unfortunately. IWM, Steve bought IWM at 228.19 with a 1050 SMA crossover. It's currently 226.57. It's down on the day, and this is also down on the trade. Angie's List. Steve bought Angie's List back here on the 27th at 1426 with the 520 crossover, down 4.98% today. So down on the day and also down on the trade. AB&B, Kamal, Jonathan, Johan, Gary bought, Kamal bought this down here at 134.90. But Jonathan, Johan, and Gary bought it at 143.20. So down on the day, but everyone is actually still up on the trade. So that's good news. Uber, Gary bought Uber at 48.20. It's currently 48.88. So it is down on the day, but it is up on the trade, and be interesting to see if we can hold this 200-day moving average. That's when Gary bought it anyway, with the close under and the close back over. So hopefully some buyers will come in and support that, keep that above the 200-day at the end of the day. And lastly, IWB, Steve Burns bought IWB at 236.40 with the 530 EMA crossover. It's down 0.45%, and it's currently 236.04. So down on the day and also slightly down on the trade. Okay. David sold AAPN at the open. Okay, let's just take you off of there then. Glad to see some people sold a little bit of profit. Let me grab a little drink ski here. Okay. Hey, Frank has a poem for us. This is going to be good. Is it going to make me cry, Frank? You never know. It's been known to happen. All right, that was embarrassing. All right, here we go. Frank says, words come easy, but money comes hard. That's why traders must be on their guard. Still, never feel shy about wearing your scars, because that's often the price of reaching the stars. Are you kidding me? How good is that? Oh my gosh. Words come easy, but money comes hard. That's why traders must be on their guard. That is so true. Still, never feel shy about wearing your scars, because that's often the price of reaching the stars. Get out of here. That is so good. Yeah, don't feel shy about wearing your scars. You're going to get them in trading. My gosh, are you going to get them? One day you're up, one day you're down. One day you never feel like you're going to make money again. Other days you never feel like you're going to lose money again. It's all a big illusion, everybody. It's all. I was speaking with someone earlier today about this is a tough business. Trading is so tough. You are up against some of the smartest people in the world, the highest technology. You're dealing with fear and greed, which are very strong emotions and frustrations, and throw patience in the mix. And I mean, it is an unbelievably hard profession. I love how people just think you wake up and you sit in your underwear and you drink coffee and watch The Price is Right, and you just click a few buttons and you make all this money, and then you get in your Lambo and you drive to the airport and you get in your Learjet. You've seen the commercials, right? Come on, buddy. Not like that at all. It's hard. And that's why 90% of traders lose money, everybody. We have to be in the other group. We have to be in the 10% group. We have to do all the stuff that all the other lazy, undisciplined, want to get rich quick traders are doing. We have to do the opposite of that. You understand, right? Like trading is a zero-sum game where everything you make, someone lost, right? I kind of hate to think of it that way. That's not really in my nature, but this is the profession that I've chosen. But what a poem. Can we read it one more time? We can? Thank you. Words come easy, but money comes hard. That's why traders must be on their guard. Still, never feel shy about wearing your scars, because that's often the price of reaching the stars. Oh my gosh, is that good? Frank, holy smokes, holy hamburgers. Yuvar says, hello everyone. Nice to see you, Yuvar. Always a pleasure. Ava is here. Greetings everyone. Beautiful, Frank. I 100% agree. Yes, it is beautiful and nice to see you, Ava. And I did get that last email. I am going to respond to that and we'll get that all taken care of. And I'm really looking forward to that. Frank says, so nice. Thank you, Ava. Such a great poem. Such a great poem. Dan gives the touchdown sign. I think that's what it is. I think, or the high 10, the high 5 or high 10 still a thing. All right. What am I doing? Anybody know what I'm doing? Oh, I do. All right. Let's check and see. There's that. But is there that? Yes, there's that too. Okay. Let's switch gears, go over to trader psychology land, right? So, you know that I am a big believer in trader psychology, how important it is in the long run on your trading, keeping your emotions in check. There's some great Twitter, there's some great Facebook channels out there that do an excellent, wonderful job of posting good trading words of wisdom that they're free. We should read them. We should internalize them. This is Julian Komar at blog Julian Komar over on Twitter. It's a great channel. He's a professional trader out of Germany. Really like his posts. I read them whenever they come out. And this post here kind of resonated with me. I've been kind of touching on it around the periphery lately. With some of my analysis of the stocks, but let's read it and then I'll explain why. A big mistake in stock trading is ignoring the context. You hear me use the word context a lot. A big mistake in stock trading, ignoring the context. You cannot expect that breakouts work if the market went up for 150 days without a correction. There is not enough power for a follow-through. Always set your buying and selling activity in the context of the general market. And Kamal and I discussed this. Kamal uses a filter based upon the cues. If we're making a lower low, that affects his decisions. That's just something, kind of a bespoke thing that he's come up with, which is great. I mean, we can all come up with all sorts of different stuff, but you have to, like Julian says, you have to have a context. There's been a lot of crossovers lately that I have passed on. Not all of them. I wish I kind of passed on all of them, but I like crossovers that happen in the value zone. I like crossovers that happen after sideways motion so that there's some momentum, there's some follow through that can happen. But if you have a deep dip buy that has moved 10% or 12%, then the crossover happens. Well, that's exactly what Julian's talking about, looking at the context. If something went up, in his example, 150 days without correction, well, maybe you get a crossover, but how much is left in the tank, right? I mean, there could be, you never know, but that's why just because there's a signal doesn't mean I have to take it. I have to look at the context. Has the market already moved a lot? Someone asked me about under 30 over 30s, and the best under 30 over 30s are the ones that just happen and go right back up. But if you're under 30 for a long, long time and you get down to the 20s and then it goes straight up from 20 up to 30, well, that's what Julian's talking about. He's talking about the context. If it has to move a long, long, long way for your signal to trigger, I don't usually want it. You know what I mean? Because the context is it's probably already made its move. Dr. Alexander Elder taught me that when I was studying with him, that the best signals happen with a quick test to the downside and immediate reversal. But if you hang out under 30 for a long, long, long time, you go down to 20 or 18 and then it comes back to 30, I think that move is gone. So keep that in mind, right? I mean, I have filters that I use that tell me where I can and can't take these things. But, trading is an art and it's kind of a science, but there's an art part to it. There's a finesse part to it of the nuances where you have to look and you have to get an understanding of the context. So, that's a broad statement, right? But just has the stock moved a significant amount for that signal to happen? Well, maybe it's done, maybe it's not. But I always assume that, if you have a huge move for an extended period of time and then it finally gets there, I don't know who else is going to be left to buy. That being said, it's fine to take any signal that is valid, that backtest well, right? It definitely is, but have some context filters in there. So I hope that makes sense. I know it's kind of an ethereal kind of concept, but just look at the context. How much has something moved before we have that trigger? To me, that's important. But thank you, Julian. Please support him at blog Julian Komar or just Julian Komar on Twitter. That was helpful for me, Julian, and I hope it was helpful for everyone else as well. Looks like the Dow has turned green and now it's turned red. Okay. TR, good to see you. Atex, I watched your DB Cooper interview. So interesting. Oh, well, thank you for that. Yeah, that was a long interview. Holy smokes. But what TR or Atex is talking about is there's an interview that I did about the connection of my dad with the DB Cooper hijacking. It's in the interview section, the podcast and interview section on my YouTube channel in case you'd like to listen to it. But yeah, interesting time of my life. That was an interesting story. And I appreciate you taking the time to listen because I know that was a big one. Ava would like to look at Cisco. So, my honest analysis on Cisco here, Ava, is the time to have bought it was yesterday. We had a false breakout to the downside and we had a V1. Now it's moved a little bit. Me personally, I wouldn't buy it here. The relative strength is good. It's up over 1% on a down day. We are getting close to that one ATR channel. Remember, every time you get too close to an ATR channel or a Keltner channel, like here's the 1, here's the 2, here's the 3. You're going to find some inherent resistance there because it's one standard deviation away from the mean. I generally don't like to buy above the 1 ATR channel. With the crossover, I won't buy above the 2. But my first gut instinct here, and I don't want to lead you astray because this could keep moving up, right? I mean, that always puts me in a position, but I'm just giving you my honest opinion. The time to have bought it was yesterday with the false breakout to the downside and the V1 rejection of the 20-day moving average, but volume a little lower than yesterday. You're going to probably have resistance up here. I'm not saying it can't move higher, but is it going to run into resistance 25 points higher? And then is that resistance less than what you're actually risking if you took the if you have a loss and you take a stop? It would kind of depend where your stop loss is going to be. But it looks good. It looks tempting, but I think the time to buy it was yesterday, Ava. Davita. Now that's good. That's a false breakout to the downside. That's a bullish engulfing bar. That's a V1. Doesn't look like we have a 520 crossover yet, but that wouldn't hurt. How much volume? 257. You know, let's look at the weekly. Weekly looks pretty good, holding the -1 ATR channel, rejected the 10-day moving average, plus a V1. Yeah, I like that. I like that for sure. David says Frank is not just a poem, is a trading psychology poem. It's true. Trading psychology poem. They're just unbelievable. That was such a great poem. David says, I was looking at BLL, kind of what you were referring. About the under 30, over 30, David? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, I mean, it gets down to context, it gets down to risk to reward ratio, but I really like to look at context as far how as far has something moved. Steve says, that is one of your best psychology talks ever, Greg. Well done, my friend. Oh, thank you. What did I say? I can't even remember what I said now. Oh, well, we were talking about, oh yeah, context. Gotcha. Thank you, Steve. That is high praise. I appreciate that. Thank you very, very much. Frank says, thank David. I do a lot of music, so for me, it's lyrics. And David said, yes, sir, on BLL. Yeah, I mean, under 30, over, we're at 37, you know, it's a little, I prefer it was like 31, 32, 33, maybe at least 30, no more than 34 or 35, but now we're 37, you know, we have the 250 and the -1 confluence there, plus the high of this gap down day. So, you know, I'm not saying, I mean, it definitely is under 30, over 30 looks like intraday, but now my mind switches into, okay, does this make sense from a risk to reward ratio? It's, you know, gets kind of tough there, right? I mean, this works, but now that doesn't work, or that works and now this doesn't work. And it always changes everything. And that's why you just have to be patient and really try to find something where, you know, you're not trying to make it work in your head, where it just organically, naturally makes sense on all aspects. So, okay, let's take a quick look. AAPN. Basically, I'm just holding this until it either goes up or comes back down to my entry point. So this one's an easy one. LMT, oh, good. Making a high on the day, which is excellent. Could get that profit target after all. MSTR, down a little bit, but hanging in there. Roku is on the chopping block for half of the trade today, because the 5 is still above the 20. We're in the value zone, so I think there's a good chance that we'll at least move sideways here, but my rules tell me I have to get out of half because it's closing below both the 5 and the 20. SPY took a little clobber on the overnight SPY trade. We'll be buying this at the close. Teradyne also going to sell half with a close below the previous day's low and locking, it's profitable, so locking in half of profits there. Unfortunately, not as high as they were here, but that is why I take profits intraday. And that's why I like to do that, because I did get some near the top here. And just the function of taking profits the way I do, you always will get some near the top, if that's important or not to you. Twitter, way off of its high, but hit the profit target there. So basically, I'm just holding this one until it either goes up to 65 at least, then closes below the 5-day, or goes to the 70 and rejects the 70. I would sell half after that. If I have a close below the previous day's low, I'd get out of the other half. Alternatively, if it goes back down, my end of day stop is the 200-day moving average. And if it closed below the 200-day moving average, it's still, at this point, because my entry was way below that, would still be profitable. So these are all kind of on autopilot, which I like. All right, well, let's get started. Let's start off with Bitcoin. I did take this trade on Bitcoin with the close over the 250, right about here, about 35,600. It's 38,600 roughly. Just holding this now, been scaling out, taking some profits. We're right in that purgatory between the 200-day moving average above us and the 250 below as support. If we go up, reject that 200, I would just exit the entire position. Alternatively, if we close below the 250, that would be my stop. But we are right in the middle of everything, like smack dab in the middle between the 200 and the 250. So, you know, I think it's a coin flip here, whichever way this goes. What's the RSI? RSI is 42.31. It'd be great if we could test the 50, but I imagine that 50 RSI will have some issues. So, you know, on this particular time frame, on the daily time frame, I would not enter this at all. But I'm already in with that good risk reward ratio off the 250. So there's Bitcoin for you Bitcoiners. Okay. Apple. This is probably my favorite entry today. If we look back in time, remember I took this trade with this good risk to reward ratio under intraday rejection of the 200. That turned out to be a nice trade. So it respected the 200 here, respected the 200 here. Is it going to respect the 200 here? Anyone's guess. If it closes over the 200-day moving average, I think it's a good entry, at least for me. It makes sense because it has respected, not rejected, but respected the 200-day moving average before. But it has to close above the 200-day moving average. If it doesn't close above the 200-day moving average, it's a bit of a bad sign for a stock like Apple that was not able to hold. There weren't enough buyers to come in at the 200. Remember, there's always going to be a lot of buyers coming in at that 200 level, especially on a stock like Apple. So right now, the 250 is 123.91. We're at 123.72, so it is under. So if it closes over, I will buy it, but only if it closes over the 200-day moving average. Amazon lost the 200-day moving average. You know, the way that my mind thinks here, I know Amazon usually does pretty well off of the 200 and also off of the 250. You can see there's been a lot of under, over. It started to lose respect for the 200-day moving average. I think the correct place to look for Amazon at this point would be move back down to about 31.55. And if I could get a test of the 250, say tomorrow, I would buy Amazon at that lower major support level. So it's kind of lost respect for the 250, but we'll see whether or not it can hold and respect the 250-day. Sorry, it lost respect for the 200, but we'll see if it will respect the 250-day. But if I can get a good entry, a good risk to reward ratio, I'll definitely be buying Amazon at that level. Philip Morris is interesting today. We're above the value zone. We came into the value zone. We made a lower high. If I make a lower high before I'm interested in that thing again, I have to wash out the low. Well, today it did. It washed out the low and it triggered a V1. So it's a false breakout to the downside in the value zone with the V1. It tested the 50 RSI this morning. It's over the 5, the 10, and the 20. So barring Apple, right now my favorite is Philip Morris. So that one is first on the list today, and it's up today on a down day. Not a big mover, but that one's my favorite so far. XLV has a rejection of the 50-day moving average. Also a V1, looks like a bullish engulfing bar. I don't like the big bar here. Michael Lova, see the big down bar that's larger than one ATR. From here to here is an ATR, but the big down bar, what am I looking for? I'm looking for a 50% retracement Fibonacci level which is about right there. So from, I think in the best case scenario, it goes to here. I mean, it could go higher, obviously, but I'm just talking in probabilities. So, this doesn't make sense to me because of that reason. CMI has a V1, has a 520 crossover. Looks pretty good. If we look over on the weekly, it's in the value zone. It's holding the 5 and the 10. So that one looks pretty good as well. So, I think the rest of these were not. Darling, I don't know what that is. No. STC, no. Big down bar here, Lova. We get right to the halfway, and that's where it stops. See that? XLU, probably wait for a crossover. BIIB. Rejected the 200 nicely 2 days in a row, but it also rejected the 50 above. So I feel like that's in purgatory. Nectar. I don't see anything there. IBKR is Interactive Brokers. It's a nice higher low V2. I think, Gary, you were asking about this, but this is just one of those filters where, yes, it's a nice sideways motion. It is a V2, but it's at the 1 ATR channel. It's just too high for me to buy there. I just think it's a little, I think the risk to reward is skewed at this point. If we came back down tomorrow but held the halfway, I would consider buying it then because I'd get a better risk to reward ratio and I'd get a better cost basis. But no, personally, I wouldn't buy this here. I mean, it's possible we could go right up. This is one of those ones, Gary, where you could do the half and half method where you could buy half here in case it does take off. But if it doesn't and comes back, then you can add your other half. I like that approach. UUP dollar strong today, which of course is generally not good for the market. With the stronger dollar, people in other countries have to pay more money with the stronger dollar to buy stuff. Therefore, exports fall. Not buying that. EDU down 12.64%. I'm not getting involved in that. Silver, well, back in the value zone. Not sure why this showed up on the scanner, to be honest with you. Maybe just a rejection of the -1 ATR channel. But we are back in the value zone. If we could get some sideways motion, that would be good. SHW. No. NUVA. No. UNH. No. VMW. No. Okay. Ava wants to look at Dell. Well, it's a nice V1, Ava. I always feel like Scrooge when I always poo-poo everything, and I'm not poo-pooing it, but I think you know how I trade, Ava, right? Like if it's above the 1 ATR channel, I consider it overvalue, and I tend not to buy things that are over in a spot where it's overvalued. So it's a nice V1. MACD is positive. We're above 50 RSI. That's all good, but just the one rule I have, I just can't buy over that 1 ATR channel on just a regular V1 or V2. It would have had to been in the value zone. The higher this goes, you get to the second ATR channel, it's going to pull that rubber band even tighter and want to pull it back down. Once it gets to the third ATR channel, the rubber band's pulled really tight, probably wants to bring you back down. So yeah, I wouldn't do anything with Dell personally myself. But if you do, good luck. Steve says, looks like I will be selling everything except IBB today on this gap down and loss of yesterday's low. Okay, sounds good, Steve. So I will take everything off except for IBB. Ava says, sorry, I don't have ATR channels on my charts. Okay, well, when we speak, that is definitely something we should look at and get on there. I would be so lost, Ava, without ATR channels or Keltner channels. I mean, obviously you don't have to put them on there, but I'd like to at least talk to you about it when we chat. Okay, so I don't think Apple's going to close above. What else did I have on there? I had Philip Morris. I think Philip Morris is my favorite one today. CMI is also good. Let's take a look over here. So, CMI 520 crossover does backtest well, holding the 50 RSI in the value zone, up on a down day. Yeah, that does kind of make sense. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy 1/2 position in Philip Morris and buy 1/2 position in CMI. Now, before I do that, I need to take care of some biz. AAPN's fine. Twitter is fine. LMT, good. MSTR, good. Roku, 337.32. Ooh. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and sell. Let's see. I think I'm just going to get rid of Roku totally. I think there's better. So yeah, I'm exiting Roku right now, locking in the loss. And TER, I'm selling half of TER with a close below the previous day's low. Okay. And then I'm going to buy a 1/2 position in Philip Morris and a 1/2 position in CMI. Let's take a look at that. Okay. Okay, so that's CMI and that's PM. So I'm buying a 1/2 position in PM, buying a 1/2 position in CMI. Apple still closing under the 200. Roku I sold all of. Teradyne I locked in half profits. And CMI. All right, so half position on CMI and 1/2 position on Philip Morris here with the false breakout to the downside V1. George, good to see you. MMM, V1 in the value zone. All right, let's take a look. okay though, but we made a lower high here. We didn't wash out the low. We made a higher high, which is good. We move sideways. We move sideways. You're right. You are right. I don't like that it's already rejected this resistance up here, the 1 ATR channel. But there's good relative strength. It's up on a down day. But yes, technically 100%, you are right. It is a V1 in the value zone. If I were to buy this, my stop would be halfway the washout bar, right about there, which makes sense, George, for a really good risk to reward ratio. Basically, if it's down tomorrow at all, you would get out. So, and the relative strength really helps. Gary says CMI has a 1030 crossover today as well. Oh, good. So there's the confluence there of the 1030 and also the 520. All right, so let me take care of that. Okay. And then over here, I'm just going to go ahead and buy my Philip Morris right now, get that out of the way. Buying a half position. And I'm also buying a half position in CMI. And what's the VIX doing? Let's see. Okay. So I think I'm good. I got rid of Roku, sold Roku, sold half of TER with the loss. Lockheed Martin, great, not a profit target, but definitely happy that it's up on a down day. Bought half a position in CMI with the 520 crossover. Bought half a position in Philip Morris with the false breakout to the downside in a V1. And it doesn't look like Apple is going to close above the 200. That's a bad sign, actually, for the market. And so we'll just coast on in. What do you guys think? Guys and girls, excuse me. I don't have any short ideas right off the bat, David. Okay, David's out of Tesla and APPN. Is Apple trying to make a comeback here? Whoa. Don't think it's going to do it. LMT making a high on the day. It's awesome. All right, well, there we go. So let's take a look and see where I got filled. overnight SPY trade at 418.77, 1/2 CMI at 260.59, and 1/2 Philip Morris at 97.45. So let's get this all taken care of. Overnight SPY trade here at, where did my line go? All right, at 418.77. Bum, bum, bum. All right, 1/2 a CMI at 260.59. All right, well, that was a good entry. Just gonna put here 1/2 for me. And then Philip Morris, 97.45. That was not a good entry. 97.45. And I'll also mention there that that's a 1/2 position. Okay. Yeah, challenging the last couple days trading, hasn't it been? You know, it really has been. We have to watch that dollar too. That dollar's a little concerning with the dollar going up, but you know, we'll see how it goes. So listen, if any of my students have any new entries or exits for me today, go ahead, put them in the live stream. I will get them all updated. Just real quick, 3 pieces of business. First, as always, just want to remind everybody that I do teach private one-on-one lessons in the evening time via Skype. I teach a really good course, a really good intensive 15-hour one-on-one course, just you and I, where I teach you everything I know about every trading strategy that I use. I teach you step-by-step exactly how to position size, emergency stops, end-of-day stops, profit targets, overhead resistance levels, trailing stop methodologies. You know, we talk a lot about trader psychology. It's just a really good course. I know you're going to be a better course if you take this. I've been really busy lately. I've had a lot of clients and a lot of students, but listen, I'd like to have you as one too. So the course does cost $1,750. So, you know, it's significant, but it is an investment in your trading. And I know you'll be a better trader. So if you're interested, all you have to do is send me an email. The email is in the link of this description, of this video's description. Just send me an email in the subject. Just say, Greg, interested in possibly taking the one-on-one course with you. I will reply. I'll say, great, let's set up a Skype call. Skype call's free. Just want to discuss you and your trading, your challenges and your goals, and it's a good time for you to ask me questions about the podcast, about the course as well. And when we're done with the call, you can think about it, and if you decide you want to schedule, just write me back and we'll get it scheduled, and away we go. Secondly, I do have a really good course, online video course that's available on udemy.com. The link is in the description of this video. It's a great course on the deep dip buy stock trading strategy. It's 9.5 hours, 15 study guides, 26 videos total. I've got so many good reviews, so much good feedback on that course. And the best part, that course is like $12, somewhere between $12 and $15, and you will learn an excellent trading strategy. So, you know, if you're not able to do the one-on-one, which of course is the best because you can have your questions answered, all that kind of stuff. But a second good alternative would be to get the course on udemy.com and watch it. And I'm here, you know, I'm here. So if you have any questions when you're done, just let me know, or during, just let me know. I know what you're talking about. I wrote it, so I'll be able to discuss it with you. So, and then lastly, if you like today's podcast, I would really appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button. It does help to build the channel, keep the channel around, lets YouTube know there's some valuable content here. So they'll get out and share it. And there are a lot of people out there, everyone, that have a really tough time with trading. I think if we could get them here, we could teach them a few good concepts. All right, so that's all I ask. If you could hit that thumbs up button before you get out of here. Okay, now let's start with Lilia. Wait a minute. Did I have something above? Okay, let's start with Lilia. WSM, that's too bad. I had hopes for that trade. That looks pretty good, but all right, we'll take Lilia out of WSM. USFD. Where is USFD? Here we go. All right, we'll take Lilia out of there as well. Tesla, David is out of Tesla. Good trade. Lost money, but it's a good trade, David, because you followed your rules. AAPN. All right. I think I already took you out of that for some reason. Oh, okay. Well, you're out. You are out anyway. So it looks like Jonathan and I are in there. George says, thank you. You're welcome. Tracy says, we are getting smarter. Decided to sell all of Roku even before you said you were. Then we sold 1/2 of Bill and 1/2 of TR. Good, Tracy. Congratulations. I'm glad you're definitely dialing that in. So we are all out of Roku. Thanks, Roku. Sold half of BILL. Proud of you, Tracy and Paxton. Really, I was talking about the two of you earlier today. So sold half. Okay. And half of TER like myself. All right. Gary is out of TER. And CMI. $10.4. Okay, so Steve is out of Fiverr. Wow, the board cleared quick today. Out of IWB. Out of the Qs. Out of IWM. Out of AMD. And out of Angie. Based upon the gap down this morning and close below previous day's low. Okay. So we took care of Lilia. We took care of David. We took care of Tracy. We took care of Gary. We have IBB still, right? Steve, we have IBB, yes. Frank took half PM, stopped out of WSM for a loss. Okay, yeah. Well, at least it was a half position. Let's look on the bright side. Frank took half PM. Okay. Kamal is out of Boeing. What a trade that was, buddy. All right, so we'll take you out of there. Take you out of there. A, B, and B. All right, so Kamal is out of A, B, and B. Close below the previous day's low. Nice trade, bud. And out of ping. Okay. Jonathan is out of APPN. Cheers. All right. Cheers to you, Jonathan. APPN. Okay, so everybody's out of APPN. And TER. Dan says, Gregorian, smash the like button. Fiery, starry thing. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate it. Dan's like my hype man over there with the like button. But yes, I would appreciate it. If you liked it today, I really would appreciate it. It really does help the channel. That's the main thing, And I don't know if you know this, but it's free. So what's the final damage on the... All right, Dow Jones down 23, NASDAQ down 141. That's a whooping. And the SP down 15. Good thing I got out of Walgreens yesterday when I was supposed to. Because it was up another 1.63%. So that always makes you feel better. It's one thing to take a loss. But if you get out, you take a loss, it stings. First loss is the easiest loss. But if the next day it continues down, don't you feel a lot better, like immediately? Weird, right? Yeah, Tracy and Paxton, I was speaking about you two earlier today. I was speaking about, someone was asking me how you two were doing with trading, and I was like, boy, they're doing great. I'm like really, really proud of them, and I really, really mean that. I mean, you guys just, I'm glad you took the course, but I mean, you're working hard. You're working hard at it, and I'm proud of you. All right. Does anyone have any questions that I can help you with? While you're thinking of them, just put them in the chat and I'll get to it. But before I do, as always, just wanted to read this. If we all do one random act of kindness daily, we just might set the world in the right direction. This is by Martin Kornfeld. Simple, everybody. Is the world in the right direction? I don't know. It could be better. It definitely could be better, and I think we could help it along if we just went out and did one nice thing for another human being today. If we went out and did one nice thing for an animal today, it would make everyone's day. It really would make the world a better place. Like, just imagine, for real, if everybody did that for one other person every day, all the way around the world. It would just be a better place, right? So let it start with us. I like to throw in the animal part as well. Animals are living beings. They appreciate kindness as well. I've lived my whole life with animals until recently, until we lost Katie. Man, I'll tell you what, speaking of Katie, I sure miss Katie. She was the little mascot of the show, and I was thinking about her this morning. She always used to sit right over there and just look at me and silently judge me on my trading. But she was my little trading partner. Here's a little picture. Everyone remember Katie? Look at that beautiful girl. Just lovely. Just lovely. All right, I can't look at that anymore. It's going to make me try. All right. But anyway, why did I get on that? Oh, yeah, because of animals, right? Let's do one nice thing for an animal. Let's do one nice thing for a human being. And maybe one day when you need it, somebody will be there and they'll do it for you as well. So new entries today, CMI, half a position, with the 520 crossover and throw in the V1 for good luck and in the value zone, so it's in a good location. Philip Morris, false breakout to the downside and a V1, relative strength as well, so both CMI and PM had relative strength. Apple will be on my watch list tomorrow for sure. See if we can close above the 200-day. That would be good. And if it doesn't, then, if it moves back to the 30 RSI, I'll be happy to buy it there. If it moves to the 250, I'll be happy to buy it there as well. Okay, well, listen, it's a beautiful day here in Utah. I'm very excited to go on a hike today. It's going to be a beautiful day for a hike, beautiful day. So I appreciate everybody coming. I hope you have a nice rest of your day. Go out, do something nice for somebody. Go out, do something nice for yourself as well. And, if you had losses today, listen, that's just part of trading, everybody. It really is. You have to be able to flow with the wins and the losses. If you're trading correctly, you'll come back. If you're patient, position size, wait for the correct entries. You might go through a drawdown in the short term, but remember, it's a long-term game. Every trade's just the one trade of the next 1,000 trades. So, if you've had a little bit of a drawdown lately, don't let it get you down. Learn from it, and have some experience with loss, which you need. You really do need it because it is part of this business, and it's a hard business, everybody. So you have to be really, really good at what you do, really disciplined, and you have to be more disciplined and more persnickety about your trades than the other 90% of people that lose money. That's really what it comes down to. All right, so on the way out, I'm going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Have a great rest of your day, and tomorrow is Friday, so tomorrow's the last day of the trading week, and looking forward to that. So take care, everyone. Talk to you soon. Have a good day. Bye-bye. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and Forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.